All right, and we are back here on the GSMC Football Podcast. And for the final part of the show, we are going to now get into talking about the Saints pulling off the upset against the Falcons, winning 20-17. And the Saints kind of hit rock bottom last week when they lost to the Panthers, and then all of a sudden, you let go of Dennis Allen, Darren Rizzi, the defensive coordinator, becomes the head coach, the interim head coach, and Saints end up winning the game. Derek Carr is hitting Valdez-Scantling for these long touchdowns, and you're without Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed, and they end up getting the win. They win 20-17. They improve to 3-7 on the year. Probably not going anywhere, of course, but this was a much needed victory for them. But yeah, it's just we have sseen this happen time and time again. When a head coach gets fired, the interim head coach comes in, and a lot of times the team shows up the next week. It didn't really work out for the Jets. They ended up losing the first game without Robert Saleh. But for the Saints here, they get the win. And again, they're not going anywhere, but it's still nice to get a win here. And to kind of go through the game. So the Falcons got the ball to start. They ended up punting. Saints, they got the ball. They had the ball for over 6 minutes. They got all the way down to the 6-yard line. They tried to go for it on 4th and 2 with Taysom Hill, and they ended up getting stuffed. Falcons then ended up punting. The Saints then put together an 11-play, 36-yard drive, and Groupie from 38 yards out kicked the field goal. Younghoe Koo kind of had a rough game. He missed a couple of field goals in this game. He missed the first one to begin the second quarter, early on in the second quarter. Falcons ended up getting to the Saints' 35-yard line, and he missed a 53-yarder. Then the Saints went 4 plays, 57 yards. Derek Carr hit Valdez-Scantling for a 40-yard touchdown, so that made it 10-0. Then the Falcons put together a touchdown drive. They went 9 plays, 73 yards. You had a 33-yard reception by Darnell Mooney, and then later in the drive, it was 4th and goal. They went for it with Bijan Robinson, and he ended up scoring from 1 yard out. The Falcons ran the ball at the goal line 4 times. You had Algier running a couple times 3 times for no gain, and then Bijan Robinson scored. But then the Saints, they answered. You had a 67-yard pass play by Derek Carr to Valdez-Scantling again, and then Valdez-Scantling scored another touchdown later from 2 yards out. And then Younghoe Koo missed a field goal. It ended up getting blocked, actually. It was a 35-yarder, so that one ended up getting blocked. So a couple of blocked field goals on Sunday between the games. Then the Saints got the ball to start the third quarter. They punted. Falcons then put together a field goal drive. Younghoe Koo from 27 yards out scored. But then the Saints answered with a field goal drive of their own. And then Kirk Cousins in that offense put together a touchdown drive. He had a 23-yard reception by Kyle Pitts, and later in the drive, 37 yards by Bijan Robinson, a 37-yard touchdown run. So that made it 20-17. But there was no scoring after that. Younghoe Koo missed yet another field goal. It was a 46-yarder. It hit the right upright. And then the Saints punted. Kirk Cousins then threw a pick. They were in Saints territory, but he was trying to hit Drake London. He ended up getting intercepted by Tyrann Mathieu. Saints ended up punting. And then the Falcons, they went for it on 4th and 4 to Ray McCloud. And he did something, Kirk Cousins, similar to what happened in the playoff game against the Vikings. Like, you have to throw the ball down the field, and he ends up checking it down. Like, remember, it was like 4th and 14. He checks it down to T.J. Hawkinson. He ends up getting tackled way short. And that was the same thing here. I mean, Ray McCloud ended up losing a yard on this play. So I don't know why they didn't try to, throw it deep or something. I don't know. I don't know what they were trying to do on that last play. But yeah, Kirk Cousins finished 23 of 38, 306 yards passing, no touchdowns and a pick. Bijan Robinson had a good game, 20 carries for 116 yards and 2 touchdowns. Algier had 11 for 59. Falcons ran the ball for 181 yards, but it's just the passing game. It's been inconsistent. Drake London had a good game, 8 receptions for 97 yards. Darnell Mooney had 5 for 96. Kyle Pitts, 4 for 55. Falcons defense, no sacks in this game. A couple of fumbles by Kirk Cousins, but he didn't lose any of them. Younghoe Koo had a rough day. 1 for 4 on field goals. So, you make you go 3 for 4, Falcons end up winning the game, but they did not. And Derek Carr, he went 16 to 25, 269 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Alvin Kamara had 55 yards on the ground. Valdez-Scantling, 3 catches for 109 yards and 2 touchdowns. Kamara had 5 for 54. Saints defense, 3 sacks on the day of Kirk Cousins. Tyrann Mathieu, of course, had the pick. And yeah, they pick up the win. I don't know what to make of the Falcons. They're just so inconsistent. And they probably are still going to win the division because the Bucs, are dealing with injuries and they just keep losing games. And the Falcons are 2-0 against them this year, so I think they will get the division. But it's just this team is just, you think they figured it out, and then they lose a game like this, and you're like, what's going on? I really don't know what to make of it. I really don't know what to make of it. I mean, the running game was efficient, but the passing game, Kirk Cousins did throw for over 300 yards. In this game. So I really, it is. They're just a weird team to figure out. But I think I think at some point, you would think they're going to figure it out, right? But I don't know. It's also, I feel like they also struggle on the road too at times. Man, my camera just, these last 2 days, I apologize, folks. My camera just does not want to cooperate. I don't know what it is. It just does. It just does not want to cooperate. We were doing good, and all of a sudden it just, I don't know what it is. It just decides to act up. But that's just how it is. It's all right though. I mean, it was better today than it was yesterday. Yesterday was just, I don't know what was going on. And then my mic at times wasn't working either. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, it's just, it happens. It is what it is. All right. And you just, I mean, this is part of the business. You're always gonna have some issues that come along. And right now, my camera's always been a problem. I mean, when it works, it works. It works fine. It's just, see, we're good now. But it's just, never mind. I spoke too soon. It's all right. We're almost done with the show here. But, yeah, back to what I was saying, though, is hopefully it calms down here, but probably not. But, yeah, I just really don't know what to make of the Falcons. I think they're still, like I said, I think they'll still make the playoffs, of course. They're going to win the division. But are they going to go far? I don't really know. Like, if they keep struggling like this, I mean, with the passing game, I mean, Kirk Cousins has got to be better. I don't really know what to make of it. If anyone wants to point out what the issue of the Falcons is, I mean, you could maybe say the play calling. I don't know. There's many things you could point to. I'm kind of an outsider when it comes to the Falcons, so I just, I see that Thursday night game against the Bucs, but you could say, well, the Bucs defense is not very good. And then, you struggle against the Saints this past week, and it's a divisional opponent. The Saints still have talent on this team, but, the Falcons are the better team. They should win this game. They got an interim head coach on the other side. You should win this game. I mean, I guess one of the biggest reasons they lost is just that Younghoe Koo just could not make field goals for whatever reason. You could point to that. But, they got to be better. They got to be better. And, the Saints, they were missing, you're missing Chris Olave, you're missing Rashid Shaheed as well. I mean, I don't know. I feel like the Falcons should have maybe have gotten another weapon in this offense. I really do believe that. I think Ray-Ray McCloud has done a nice job as being the number 3, but, and Mooney's been good this year. Drake London's been good this year. Kyle Pitts has had some good games, but I felt like they needed another pass catcher. I felt like maybe you could have went out and got another receiver. But they didn't do that. I think they like the guys that they have. So, and like I said, Ray-Ray McCloud has done a nice job. Mooney's been good. Drake London as the number 1's been good. But I just think you needed somebody else. and they didn't go out and do that. But the running game's been good. Bijan's had a good year. Has had a good year. Yeah, I just don't know. But look, the Falcons are lucky that they're in the division that they're in. They're in the driver's seat to win the division. But they got a tough game next week against the Broncos. So, they got to, they got to step up their game there. That is not going to be an easy game. Back-to-back road games is tough. And, the Broncos, definitely want to, get back to the win column, after losing that heartbreaker to the Chiefs. So, we'll see what happens. And for the Saints, look, you're just trying to, I guess, I don't know what Saints fans, I guess the Saints fans want them to tank as well. But, now they got some energy back with that win. And, Derek Carr is healthy. So, they're going to win some more football games. So I don't think Saints fans are going to be too happy with that, but that's where we're at. So that's pretty much it for the show for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to check out all the other shows. Give the other shows some love, like I always say. And, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the video. And, as always, I'm your host, Kenneth Gruenfelder, signing off from the GSMC Football Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Have a good day, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Take care.